most toxic League of Legends player ever.
How do you go from earning tens of thousands of dollars each? How do you go from earning tens of thousands of dollars each month, building an online brand and entertaining millions of people, to incapable of breaking 2,000 views per video and being lucky to make $100 a month from it? What?
Easy. You just tell people to go kill themselves every day for a long time as long as you stream. Easy.
Does the most toxic player in the most toxic online game look like? Well, meet Shacklone.
I hope you fucking drop dead, you disgusting subhuman. Why are you alive?
Oh my god. That's to some. To some people, this is harassment. To others, this is passion. Oh, I'm kidding.
Why is the Zoe alive, dude? Can you not find the rope? Why are you alive?
League of Legends, a game that has a reputation for being one of the most toxic, rage-inducing experiences you can imagine.
Just beating keyboards, man.
This guy doesn't want to play with me just so he can play me. Like an actual no-life piece of king poop garbage. His dog shit on the floor.
Oh, T1. Oh boy.
Sick of this company. The trash.
Yeah.
Fix the game. It sucks playing the shit.
Take 5.
So keep in mind, most of these clips are gonna be taken from like people that stream the game, so they have like an obligation to, you know, be a little more characteristic or whatever, you know, make mountains out of molehills. All right. Now I'm not gonna sit here in high road and be like, oh, whenever I play a game, I'm like the most nice person ever. All I want to do is help in whatever. It's like, no, most, if not, I would say most people that have played like games online have done this, except, you know, it was just, you know, in your room by yourself, you know, with your little controller playing Call of Duty. All right. It just gets overblown when you start to stream this to like your online raid to like 10,000 plus people or whatever, you know. That's when it gets like blown up.
5 human players and pit them against 5 other humans. Add in a scoreboard, a competitive ranked ladder, meaning losses have real-time consequences to your progression.
And this is even worse in competitive games that have ladders, all right? That's probably what I would guess the main complaint of, or the main argument against ranked in Call of Duty games in the past year. Because, newsflash, like, I haven't played Call of Duty in like a while. Like, I played back in the day. And yeah, the Call of Duty lobbies were like just as bad as it then as they are now. It's like none of that like toxicness went away. All right, it's still there, you know. And with them introducing like more ranked back into Call of Duty, I would imagine there have been a lot of lobbies that are still like that.
And the biases of a human believing they are much better at a task than they actually are. This is a progression from the 1v1 era of competitive games like StarCraft, where failure resulted in you only being able to blame yourself, or the video game, or your opponent's strategy that you just couldn't overcome. Now that you have teammates, it's much easier to engage with. You have 4 others who are clearly worse than you, less intelligent, less attractive, and obviously at fault when you don't win.
Yep. It's never my fault. It's your fault. All right. I played perfectly. It's your fault you didn't play off of me. That's always the answer.
With this, you have the recipe for incredibly unpleasant interactions. Shacklone not only embodies this experience like none other you'll find on the internet, but also the experience of how a once bright career as a content creator earning potentially millions of dollars can turn into a bitter existence just full of hatred. From grinding out videos on YouTube with massive initial success, refining that formula over the course of years, to being banned by a game developer on over 40 accounts.
That's crazy to be banned on 40 accounts, and it's all for like the same thing. I bet online harassment, you know, typing typing away. That's unheard of. Because, geez, 40 accounts, bro. That's like so much work. If I got banned on like my own account, bruh, it's like it's a chore just to make another account, just to make one other one, dude. God dang. That's too much work, man.
But still continuing every single day and hating every single moment of it.
The fucking gameplay itself, the state of this fucking disgusting fucking game. I your fucking fat ugly mom, Riot. You ruined this game.
Shaqlone, as the name would suggest, is a play on the League of Legends character Shaco.
And this is not something exclusive to League of Legends. There's a lot of like once you play any game at like the tippy top level, every player that plays this like day in day out, they can see what is quote unquote wrong with the game, you know? So this is not exclusive to League of Legends.
The Demon Jester, whose ultimate ability creates a clone of Shaco, which of course is where the name comes from, a reference as a one-trick pony, a player who exclusively uses a single character out of the roster of hundreds available. Shaqlone was a high-ranked player during the early adoption and growth phase of League of Legends, rising through the ranks to the upper echelon of Challenger in one of the most popular and competitive regions, Europe West. This put him in the top 200, something only a fraction of the population will ever achieve.
And you can bet, I would say most of those top 200 people probably just as toxic, except they probably weren't streaming or something. I don't know. It seems like that, unless you're like, I don't know. This guy just seems like a little unhinged to be like remaking 40 accounts. Because it's kind of like that in like most things, like at the tippy top 10th percentile or whatever, like 1/10th percentile. It's like, okay, let's just keep watching.
He was undoubtedly good at the game, perhaps even one of the better Shaco players on the planet, due to the sheer breadth of experience across thousands of games, spanning tens of thousands of hours. For this reason, his clips of mastery involving the hero went somewhat viral for the time. During the period of 2013 to 2014, the barrier for entry to get a vast sum of eyeballs on League of Legends YouTube or Twitch content was considerably lower than it is today. Shaqlone, with the early adopters advantage, had the building blocks of everything he would have needed to become super popular.
And I do remember this because like League is still like, I don't know, pretty popular today. So I did play back in the day, but like that was years ago. So yeah, I would imagine the barrier to be like way lower. It's easier to be a little more of a character and like to stand out. So yeah, absolutely.
Great gameplay, highly impressive mechanical grasp of the character, high ranked meaning he had experience and knowledge to impart on his audience, as well as the benefit of featuring in games with the current most popular professional players and the big streamers of the game. All he needed was a personality that was inoffensive, or at least, if offensive, entertaining at the same time. He could then ride this all the way to an extremely lucrative career.
Whatever, I don't give a shit about tickets like that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Ban me, I don't care. Having brain dead fucking like that.
Jeez.
This guy is asking for my address. He's actually asking for my address, son of a bitch. I would stab these guys in the face if I saw them.
Unfortunately for Shaqlone, he didn't have this. Unlike other toxic streamers or content creators, he had none of the charisma or redeeming qualities that made their rage funny and their streams grow as a result. For people like Tyler One, the poster boy of toxicity in League of Legends and another notorious personality within the scene, it actually helped to build his brand. People tuned in not specifically for his gameplay, which of course was at a high level, but to laugh at how out of control he would get. Yeah, he typed bad things to his teammates and thought they all sucked, but so did most people in League of Legends. This is a common mindset in Ranked in the first place, which did give him that relatability factor, because this is how people did interact with each other in the game, for better or for worse.
So I remember watching, like, I didn't watch Tyler like religiously. You know, he made a bunch of fucking like funny memes and shit, like accidentally or whatever, and I thought he was like insanely funny. And I think, you know, like he said, he's a poster boy for toxicity. And I think what was the difference between Tyler and Shayclone or whatever? I don't remember if T ever like typed as much bad shit in chat. I'm pretty sure he did. I don't know if he went through like just as many accounts or whatever, but I think it was more obvious that Tyler was playing a character and Shayclone was not. I think that was the main difference. I think.
The key difference between the two is that Tyler was funny while he was doing it.
Yeah.
Riot Games, of course, didn't agree, so he was permanently banned. In fact, he was given the first ever ID ban, which means if he ever made another account and Riot found out, they'd just ban it even if he wasn't doing those same things on this new account. No matter what though, his audience loved it, and Riot later on reconsidered this decision.
Yep.
In terms of Shayclone, his rage wasn't ever funny.
It
was
wasn't.
spiteful, it was hurtful, it didn't come from entertainment, and it wasn't fun to watch. It was just sad. Even among the League of Legends community that expects a little bit of spice, he wasn't it. Instead, he was building a reputation for being the worst of the worst. The really bad stuff was either being hidden behind a mask, worried if he let it slip that the success would slip with it, or perhaps being in an advantageous position on the road to greater popularity and still currently good at the game. He was less inclined to go fully mask off. Whichever it was, maybe a bit from column A and a bit from column B, it didn't remain this way for long. During his growth period, whether he knew it or not, whether it was intentional, he was doing things right. He was focusing mostly on his strengths, highlight clips, informative videos, tutorials, and generally funny or impressive montages.
Yep, doing the gameplay streamer type thing, you know, versus the charismatic streamer thing.
For around 3 years, it was a constant upward trajectory, going from strength to strength. Tens of thousands of views per video quickly turned to hundreds of thousands, but even at this time, Shayclone could be seen justifying his toxicity in the game in still listed YouTube videos.
Starts with 20 with a few, and you keep getting more when people keep reporting you. I don't think I deserved 5,000 chat restrictions and stuff. I tried to talk to Riot, but they keep denying it. Why don't you show me the chat logs? Why don't you show me the chat logs of my games and prove me that I'm toxic, that I'm flaming? Because I don't.
It's almost as if he wanted people to...
I mean, dude, you got him like right here saying, get cancer this guy, cancer that guy. Like, what?
Tell him, yes, it's okay to behave this way. Despite this, things continued to rise for Shayclone over 2015 and 2016. He was hitting his peak of ranked performance, and his videos were now regularly hitting 200,000 to 600,000 views each. He used this momentum to propel his Twitch career, with an average of 500 concurrent viewers for the month of November 2016. Things were going great.
I mean, what's gonna happen? Is it just gonna pop out randomly when the countdown is down, and then just, oh, challenger, boom, in your face, just like that? Okay.
This was probably the happiest anyone ever saw Shayclone in 9 years of videos and streams, reaching the peak of his game, the pinnacle of what he'd been working towards for over 5 years. But the good times were not meant to last. Very soon, Riot Games took their first ever permanent action against Shacklone. This came in the form of a permanent ban for his main account. The account he'd been working on for many years, spent thousands of hours playing, the one he reached the highest ranks possible. He of course found out about this ban live on stream, and to say he didn't take it well is a bit of an understatement.
Okay, you wanna play that game, Riot? You wanna play that game? We're just gonna keep buying accounts and we're just gonna keep ending idiots who deserve it. Yeah, we can get them off permaban. Suck my fucking dick, Riot Games.
That is like a whole new level of low. Just keep buying accounts to just int. Jeez. That's the mindset of someone that has like nothing, who thinks they have nothing to lose. All right. Jeez. That's crazy. It's like some like he's like the Joker, you know?
Suck my fucking dick.
Shacklone thought at this time that the best way to display
How
to Riot
ironic.
Games that he was in fact not toxic and didn't deserve to be banned, and that they'd made a mistake, was to log on to alternate accounts and intentionally lose games, ruining the experience of his teammates, which is partially what got him banned in the first place.
Yeah, that should be a bannable offense right there. That's crazy. Like, what are you doing, dude? You just get into a game, get up to whatever rank, and I don't know how that happens. Like, you like try to find people or what? Try to queue into them? I have no idea how that works. And then you just don't play. I cannot imagine that. I wonder how old this guy was, like when he did all this.
He did this live on stream for 5 hours straight, joining game after game and running into the enemy team over and over until the game ended and his team lost.
5 hours every day? Bro, I cannot do that. Like, what? That's crazy. Like, god dang. I can't really say much for the FPS genre is like any better. You got motherfuckers running around left and right with XYZ cheats from Joe Schmo and whatever. So, and this is his way to get back. Or it's like, God, this is just sad.
He did this on accounts he purchased, which is also a bannable offense in the game, displaying this fact and of course more toxicity the whole time. He then took to social media to tell people that Riot banned him on his original account for no reason, because he was not toxic. He had in fact done nothing wrong.
It wasn't me. I wasn't toxic.
These are apparently the actions of somebody who is wrongfully accused. This of course becomes a running theme with Shacklone. He believes that Riot Games banned him because they had a bias toward him, that they unfairly targeted him for things he never did. Of course, it was all disproven when people found the replay file of the game he was originally banned for, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. This game, in which he claimed to do nothing wrong and just played badly.
Okay, so a bit of backstory. Just seen this video from Shacklone, which is getting a bit of traction, where he is claiming that he is being target banned and is getting banned unfairly for doing nothing wrong and trying his best, in quotes. Kinda ashamed though that he was actually using an account I personally gave him a few months back. So this is the dude that gave him the account, aka this exact account I am logged onto making this post with right now. So I logged into this account and checked his match history, which he didn't show on the video. I wonder why. And he was very clearly going AFK in games. I left a comment on his video about it, and it looks like I'm banned from his channel now. So he banned the dude that gave him the account. Even the dude that gave him the account didn't thought it was bad.
Showed that after playing badly, he went AFK and he left his teammates to play 4 versus 5 for the remainder of the game. He was still there the whole time, of course, moving around, just letting people know that he would in fact rather lose than actually try, which was something he regularly did. Of course, he couldn't flame his teammates anymore because he'd been chat restricted, meaning they'd forcefully removed the ability to interact with anyone in the game for over 1,000 games.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think that was like some feature they implemented in League of Legends. Like, I don't know how it works. It's like some sort of strike system or whatever. But if you get reported X amount of times, instead of banning your account, they'll do you like one less, and kind of as like a warning action. Like they'll just take away your ability to like, what is it, talk and chat, but you can still ping, I think. I don't know how it works.
He'd been warned about all these things with some frequency for over 2 years by this stage, but he seemed incapable or just unwilling to stop. He defended this, stating that if his teammates are bad, he should be allowed to give up and ruin their chances to win, because they ruined his chances to win by not performing as well as he wanted them to. They don't deserve him to play the game. After this, his career started a tailspin. Previously, people who had seen his streams or been unfortunate enough to be in a game with him were the ones who had a decision to make about his behavior. They could either resonate with the toxic mentality and side with him, or make a decision to avoid his content like the plague after seeing the types of things he would do or say.
Brain damaged, fucking imbecile. You fucking retard, dude. You fucking brain rotten fucking imbecile, man. Is a fucking subhuman. There's no better fitting word for these fucking players. Death threats? It's not death threats. It's my deepest wish for people like this Maokai, Trinimir, and Zoe, dude. It's my deepest wish that these people die as soon as possible. It's a deep desire. His brain is literally all the way fucking eaten.
This guy is so like into his own bubble, you know? And I understand that, like, you know, when you're grinding on something, it's very easy for you to get like lost in your own bubble, but that's still like, I don't know. It just feels kind of, I don't know. It kind of feels silly for me, like judging someone, because like him saying all this stuff. It's like he's not talking in the game about it, but you know, earlier we did see him like typing stuff in game, but then this guy's streaming to like 500 like people or whatever, and it's like him saying that this is like okay to talk about. It's like, it just doesn't feel good.
No, dude. Subhuman.
But after the ban, seeing what he did in response, the social media back and forth within the community, he'd started to poison the well for prospective viewers. The pool for people who would be watching YouTube or Twitch for a game like League of Legends invariably crosses over with other social media. If you search Shaqlone's name, you would find no shortage of people discussing why he's a bad person, why nobody should watch him, and what he'd done wrong. Where before all this, you would find people praising his innovative and interesting Shaco gameplay at the highest levels. This is what's referred to as the death spiral. There's a limited pool of people who could ever watch your content, and if you poison the well for people who could, and turn away the people who already tried, you will see no growth, which means it's only downhill from here. Despite all of this, he kept streaming, and December of 2016 was still providing good numbers. His YouTube was also still doing well. Maybe he could weather the storm and just ride out the bad publicity. If he made some changes, he'd be fine.
Maybe he'd be fine. Who knows? You know, if you're getting some shit talked to you online, you know, the best thing you can do is just ignore it and just keep making better content, you know? But it seems in this case, this guy was like known for being toxic in a non-funny way, but he didn't realize what he was really doing. So just ignore it and keep going, I guess. That's what his thought process was.
It was a permanent ban, but it wasn't an ID ban. He could just make new accounts, stop being toxic, and he'd be okay.
And something else, like how many times does your account need to be banned for you to get like an ID ban? That's crazy. That Tyler got an ID ban, but this guy didn't. If like the ID ban is like the tippy top worst thing that can happen to you, or whatever. Like, didn't something like that happen to that Jarvis dude in Fortnite or whatever? I don't know.
After all, he did have die-hard fans, and they were still in his corner, still fighting for him against a wave of newfound and, of course, unjustified hate. This, as you would guess, didn't last for long, and he didn't make any changes. Aside from his career best Twitch viewership of January 2017, from then on, both YouTube and Twitch was in a steady decline. This, for most people, wouldn't be that big of a deal, because on social media as a career, some months are good, some months are bad, and some months are just average. Maybe you'll see stagnation where you get the same sort of viewership for a year, or you have a couple bad months in a row, but then maybe you'll have a couple good months in a row. For Shacklone though, this wasn't a steady decline into a slightly lower audience for a few months, but a straight decline into the abyss of...
That is straight down stonks. Oh my god, that's just down arrows all day, dude. What happened?
irrelevance. His YouTube went from peaks of almost 6 million monthly views, with averages of 3 million, which were likely netting him tens of thousands of dollars per month in ad revenue, to new peaks of 700,000. This continued month after month, going lower and lower, until by 2019, he was lucky to be receiving more than 200,000 views per month.
Bro, if you see that, like, you gotta change something. You gotta figure it out, like what it is you're doing wrong, and you need to fix that shit, dude. Like, jeez.
He was still releasing content, he was still doing things the same way he was before, but he was now getting less views per month from his entire catalogue of old and new releases than a singular video of 2 years earlier. His live viewership was also in the toilet. It's not like he was focusing on one more than the other and it was suffering as a result. He was streaming 2 to 3 times more hours than at his highs, and he was lucky to see 100 concurrent viewers, which is less than a fifth of what it was before.
That kind of seems like he was like just taking his last breaths, like trying to hang on or whatever. Like, oh, all I gotta do is just stream more, you know, don't release any as much videos. Maybe I'll just stream more and it'll all be fine. Like, no, dude, the issue's you. You just have to step back, zoom out, and see what's going on sometimes, man.
Interestingly, it seems that Shacklone tried in early 2017, following his obvious decrease in numbers, to private a lot of his older, more toxic videos, maybe trying to show he was capable of change and salvage his career, but ultimately decided to go back on that the very next month, unprivating the videos and continuing down the path of blaming everybody else.
So he tried, failed, and then went back to being toxic. That sucks.
From constant growth across a 2-year grind to present day, his social media has seen a loss of 99.5% of audience.
It's a
And
big
if you
hit.
thought Shacklone was toxic when he was popular and trying to be somewhat a good boy to maintain that status, to maintain that growth, well, you can only imagine how bad things got when he reached rock bottom.
Counts of I spit in your face. So I would so smash in this guy's face, man. I would, like, you have no clue, man. I don't even care if that's TOS or whatever. I just want to punch the guy in the face so bad.
Shacklone now streams to an echo chamber of around 50 concurrent viewers.
Let's see. So, does it ever get like that? Or have I ever been like that in like FPSs? I mean, yeah, but I think the older I get, the older I get, keep getting old. It's like the emotion is just not even there, you know? It's like if I died or I didn't kill someone, it's on me, you know? And I think that part needs to, you know, of online gaming needs to be taken more into account, you know? But then again, there's no real like money behind it though. Like as in I don't know where I was going. It's like in FPS, like when I was playing FPS when I was younger, I would totally be like this guy. And over the years, and especially like me transitioning into like M&K and stuff like that, it's like you just have to take more personal responsibility and I don't know, just not be a dick. Stop blaming everyone else.
These videos are lucky if they break 5,000 views from each, with 20 to 50,000 monthly views total, despite releasing them with consistency and claiming to put more hours than ever into their creation, with editing that he describes as next level.
Like this should easily be 4,000 views by now. They just for the third time deleted views on this fucking video, dude. Like, do you have cancer, YouTube? Do you have fucking cancer, dude?
So now he stopped being toxic to people, and now he is toxic to YouTube.
And I'm so impressed and so proud of the quality of my videos recently. Man, the editing just fucking picked on another level, I swear.
So why does he continue to do what seems like torturing himself? Why does he keep playing a game that he hates? Why does he pretend that he's still as good as he was half a decade ago? Why doesn't he understand that his social media career is over, or at least make a single positive change after years of worse and worse results in every aspect of his online life? Of course, that is what makes Shaqlone interesting as a video topic.
Is that the life of a gameplay streamer? You know, you go into your prime, do your competitive stuff, get real popular, and then quickly, you know, relatively speaking, transition out of the gameplay part and hopefully more into a more personality part. That seems to be the move.
Like so many others who have tried to make a career online with social media, it comes down to personality type, the inability to reflect, to look at yourself honestly and understand the most important question: why? Why was I successful? Why did that go away? Why did I not recognize it and change in time? Why do I keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result?
You know, if you don't change, you're gonna get left in the dust.
Giving yourself honest answers here is key. Instead, he's only spiraled out of control in a subconscious double down on what brought the entire failure to begin with. He, like many others, makes all of his problems external and the fault of everyone but him. He embodied the narcissist's prayer. That didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. Why did Riot Games ban
Dang.
it? Because
That is a crazy line of like logic that goes on like that. I never thought about it like that. That is actually really, really revealing.
they're against me for no reason. I didn't do anything wrong. And when I did do things wrong, it's because the people deserved it. They were bad players, so they deserve to be told that their family should die painfully. Why do viewers not watch me anymore? It's because Riot Games have influence to Twitch and YouTube, and they shadow banned me. Why can I not reach Challenger anymore? Because my team are bad, and if I make a mistake, it's small or because I gave up already. Literally nothing is ever his fault. He didn't nosedive his channel, he spent 3 years building with constant month-on-month growth. People did that to him for no reason. Of course, it generally is more difficult for an individual to accept the fact that they are steering the ship of their own destiny
Yep.
for many of the consequences they face as a result of their actions. It's easier to fall into the trap that the system is out to get you, because that removes your personal responsibility and admitting that you're not infallible, that you have problems and there are things you need to work on. But Shaqlone has had access to the last 9 years of his life and he's not analysed it at all. Instead, choosing to create a conspiracy of epic proportions and then repeating it to an echo chamber where people just agree with him or ignore the unhinged rants that he goes on.
Let's see if they deleted the views on the video again.
There was no self-reflection. I think that's actually like a really healthy thing to like do. How often? I don't know. But I don't know. It seems like this guy had like, I don't know, some sort of money or whatever. So like doing like some sort of like therapy sessions was probably not out of the realm of possibilities that he could have done. And from what I could tell, therapy is not like a cure to like any mental thing. Therapy is more like brushing your teeth, you know? It's just like some hygiene stuff, you know? It's like mental hygiene, more or less. You know? And this guy probably could have benefited from that, in, you know?
Yep. Oh my god, Riot Games! You did this, Riot Games! You did this. This is your fault, Riot Games. Right, so it's like the same people that work at YouTube are the same people that work at Riot Games, man. This shit is so fucking insane, dude. They delete not just fucking views now, but subs, likes, comments. I don't remember the last time a video of mine got picked up by the algorithm as it used to. Because back then in the earlier days when I was booming, most of the views would come way after the upload through the algorithm pushing the videos up, right? That shit never happens in years. In fucking years, since like 2017, I haven't seen a video properly pick up and gain views, dude.
In this clip, he very almost reaches self-awareness that he hasn't seen a video do well in years, though of course falls into the trap of similar people, the gross scores, the Wings of Redemptions, the Dark Side Phils of the world. The people that cannot accept the algorithm is just another word for people. If people don't like what you're doing, if people don't like you, they're not going to click your videos. They're not going to watch your videos. And then they're not going to be pushed to more people because the ones who are being shown the video don't want to watch it. YouTube doesn't know Shaqlone exists or care. They're not out to get him. They're not out to get you. You've been out to get you this entire time. It is a miracle YouTube and Twitch haven't banned his account yet, honestly.
You are always going to be your own worst enemy. You're always going to be your own worst critic.
Which at this point might actually be a good thing for his life if they do. Maybe that would allow him to move on.
Bro, what? Deleted tweet violating our rules against abuse and harassment. What'd he say? Get fucking cancer, you degenerates. At Team YouTube, they just unironically deleted about 900 views from my video, man. What is this fucking cancerous fucking company? Shadow ban me? Shame on you. But delete subs, likes, comments, and views? Fucking get cancer, YouTube. Yep. That sounds like him.
Perhaps the only reason he slips under the radar is that he's now so small and insignificant that he remains unnoticed.
Yeah.
Having said that, he's now stuck, incapable of progressing and guaranteed to continue down the path of ranting to his last remaining diehard fans, who are either as toxic as he is or there to watch the spiral continue.
You're only gonna attract the type of people that you portray yourself as, really.
The question of why he would continue to do this to himself, to spend multiple hours every day committed to participate in something that not only does he not enjoy, but actively makes his life worse, well, the truth is that he's addicted to League of Legends.
Addicted to XYZ game? That doesn't sound familiar.
That's why he never stops, why he plays even though he hates the game. I know this because I was there as well. The only reason I know Shaqlone exists is that during his peak of League of Legends fame, I was also at my peak of League of Legends degeneracy. I was addicted, I played even though I hated it, because I had nothing else to do. I felt that if I stopped, it would be a waste of time being in the top 0.01% of players. I wrongly thought that being so good at the game gave my life value and that people cared. But of course, nobody did, and it didn't. This fact made the video a little bit more interesting for me, because I was in the same ranked games as him. I saw firsthand how toxic he was. It's why watching his stream made me want to visit this topic to begin with.
Oh
It's
dang.
tough to watch, honestly, after you've moved on 9 years later, and he's still there, doing the same thing, but he's worse in
Doing the same old, same old.
every regard. His streams are a window into a defeated man.
Good games though. A lot of deserved losses, a lot of deserved brain cancer, a lot of deserved ropes. Like a lot of these people just really desperately need to get a rope from somewhere and just immediately use it.
He participates in the games, complains the whole time, clearly has no fun, and then rounds it off by ranting about this fancy world he's built to insulate his ego from the reality that everything was in his own hands this entire time. Never taking accountability for anything in life or in the game, abusing people, their families, ruining their games, and waiting for Riot to find the time to ban his next account, and then saying they're biased and he's done nothing wrong.
Bro, this guy is still getting accounts banned? Like, dang, dude. I thought I was bad with, like, Apex. And, like, but this, like, it's just still happening. I can't imagine.
It's honestly baffling anyone would sit and watch this man anymore. It's like a pit of despair. He now also struggles to get close to the ranks he achieved previously, while being unable to admit it's all over, still telling people he's challenger, which he isn't.
Like my team has all the low win rates while the enemy team has all the high win rate smurfs, and on top of it, two of them each are duo queues. Like the system loves to put duo queue players into a duo queue team, which means 4 players are each duo queue.
He instead creates these systems that he thinks Riot Games have developed that make it impossible for even superior players such as himself from winning their way back to the top, ignoring the fact that high-ranked players often do this without issue, as the skill gap in League of Legends is incredibly pronounced. So
The skill gap is incredibly pronounced. Bro, League has been around for I don't know how many years now. The skill gap, skill ceiling, the gap has got to be like insane now between like like an average person and even an average person. Oh geez, I would be like willing to guess that like most people are like, I don't know, it is like like every other game, like bronze/silver, and then you know it gets less and less the higher you go.
something he was able to take advantage of himself many years ago, but not now. And I guess we can end it there. That's Shaqlone, the most toxic League of Legends player, 40 or more accounts permanently banned, a dead YouTube channel that he thinks Riot Games employees are influencing to prevent anyone discovering anymore, a dead echo chamber of a Twitch channel that exists as a void to shout his incoherent conspiracy theories into, with only a few distant voices returning in agreement. It's a surprise he isn't banned for how hateful he is on stream each day, likely slipping under the radar of never being discovered by anyone who would care enough to report him. Will he ever change or move on to something else? Unlikely. It's been 6 years and his behaviour has only gotten worse. There seems to be no break for the cycle. Instead, it's likely he continues down this path because when it's never your fault, surely something external will change eventually, right? And when that does, you'll be right back on top. When Riot Games stops sabotaging Shaqlone, he'll be back where he belongs. You'll see. You'll all see.
Dude, the thing is, all these dramas and whatever beef and what shit I've been through, right? Like, I could never do this. I could never sit there and be like all formal and calm and peaceful and explain it in detail and be like, yeah guys, this is I could never do that because I just do not give a fuck.
Of course you don't give a fuck. 'Cause you never do like any inward reflection, you know?
You know what I mean?
No. Well, yeah. I do know what you mean because I've been there. But, never to like that level. That's crazy. So, wow. That's a good video. Freaking awesome, man. Freaking awesome.